Program, our first opportunity to chat with this young man who was acquired by the Baltimore Orioles just last week in that trade deadline deal with the Boston Red Sox. He's a former first-round pick and a phenom at Oklahoma. He's Kyson Witherspoon, and he's currently with the Frederick Keys. He's with us now here on GCR. Kyson, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you so much for taking the time for us.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Kyson, I imagine this had to be a really whirlwind week for you, right? We always talk to the guys that get traded at the major league level, but I got to imagine for someone like you, it's even more crazy, right? Like you're establishing yourself in an organization. You have no idea that nobody's reporting about you being in these conversations. Can you describe like what the emotions are like, how, at your age you go through it, you handle it, and then what the feelings are when you finally arrive and you maybe get settled now in the Orioles organization?
Yeah, kind of as the deadline kind of started getting closer, there was always like thoughts in my mind thinking that I could be a piece of a trade sometime. And when I got the call, it didn't really feel real until I ended up landing with the Orioles or with the Keys when we were down in Jersey Shore, like just being with a different team, new staff. But I'm really liking it so far. Everybody down here has been really good to me. My first week down here at the home field here in Frederick, really, really nice. I'm excited to be playing for you guys.
What is like? How do you measure the shock, the disappointment, the having to go through all of it? Like I got to pick up my life, all that versus the excitement that a team specifically wanted you and targeted you. Like how do you measure those two things?
I'm not sure. I'm kind of taking it a day at a time right now, just trying to be where my feet are. I think it's cool that I was a part of a trade with Adley, huge name guy that's been popping around the league for a long time. So it's cool that I'm a part of something big for the league. So I think that's a good way to look at it, and kind of just trying to establish myself here in the Orioles organization.
Do you like so? Just from a functionality standpoint, like what goes with you? I'm assuming at your age, like can I assume you're not married, Kyson?
Yeah, I'm not married.
Right. So like I imagine this maybe isn't as difficult as it is for some guys. Like I'm guessing you were renting anyway, and so it's just like, all right, I just got to pack up some stuff and get on the road. Maybe it's not all that difficult functionally.
Yeah, I'd say I'm a pretty simple guy. I really just had to pack up my stuff. I'm just going to play baseball somewhere else. That's kind of the only way I kind of see it. I'm still playing the game I learned, so.
It's like a have glove will travel kind of situation.
That's right.
It's what it is, and it's working out. Kyson, obviously you've been under a microscope before because you were such a high draft pick and you've been talked about. So I ask like, hey, now that as you point out, you were a key piece in this trade, and so a lot of people are looking at you and thinking about you and wanting to see how you perform. I'm going to assume, given the spotlight that you pitched under at Oklahoma and being a top prospect, like none of that is going to be difficult for you. That what it's like pitching under a spotlight, correct?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it's any different than anything I've done in the past couple of years. So just throwing the ball. It's pretty simple.
If we only looked at the numbers for your first pro season, then people come away and saying, okay, elevated ERA, maybe the whip a little bit higher than you'd want. But we also know that only looking at the numbers can miss a lot of context, right? Like that sometimes it's just one game that goes a certain way, or you're so specifically working on something that you're prioritizing that over the numbers. Can you walk me through, like if you were doing your own self-evaluation, what you've been happiest about from your first pro season, what you think still needs to improve moving forward?
Yeah, I think this past year it's kind of been ironing out kind of pitch shapes. That's been the biggest focus coming from like spring training with the Red Sox, and I think my shapes have gotten a lot better. I think that everything across the board has honestly gotten better. I think still chasing velo. I think that's the biggest. I wouldn't say concern, but I think that's the big focus right now. And then just really throwing more strikes overall. I think with the addition of reload and then being more competitive in the zone, I think I'll be right back to where people are kind of expecting me to be and where I know I can be here.
You mentioned the velo, right? We've seen you, I think regularly touch in that 95 to 97 range, and then I know it got even, you picked up even more velocity than that at times. Where do you want to be? Like, where's the comfort for you not like what I'm capable if I really rear back and give it everything, but where you want your fastball to be consistently.
Yeah, my goal right now for this season is really to have an average heater of around 97.
Okay.
I've reached that, I think, one outing so far this year, but that's pretty hefty goal. So I think trying to get there and being able to pitch at that mark, not necessarily just empty the tank and throw as hard as I can everywhere. I think being able to pitch at that mark is a big goal for me.
I think that's the part that's interesting to a lot of people, because someone say, hey, if you're capable of throwing 99, why not try to throw 100? But like as far as longevity and what you want to do with your career is concerned, like that's just not what's best for you. It's better to be sitting around 97 is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think the goal is to eventually be sit 99, but you got to take it one step at a
Okay.
time.
Okay. I can respect that, right? Like in the major leagues, let's hit 99 constantly. I like the sounds of
Right.
that. Working deeper into games. How much of that
Yeah.
is still part of the story for you and wanting to go a little bit further? I'm assuming that's all part of the plan. Again, not wanting to just throwing away innings at this level is not something that anybody's like worked on. But like, how important is that part of your game for you?
It's very important. I think all that comes along with is just being more efficient in innings, attacking batters, getting quick outs, and not wasting very many pitches trying to get guys out. So I think just being efficient will be the biggest reason to go deeper in the games.
All right, so we want to know about you, man. Like, we want to find out about your background. Let's just start, right? For a kid in Florida, how did it become
Yeah.
baseball? When did you know that was what you were in love with? When was pitching the option for you? What's the whole story on Kyson Witherspoon?
Yeah, I think baseball really started becoming like the sport for me when I was 12. I went to the Cal Ripken World Series with my pretty much rec
Wait,
ball
wait,
teams
wait, wait,
growing
wait.
up.
Was that the Cal Ripken World Series when it was still in Aberdeen here, or is that some?
I don't know if it was Babe Ruth or Cal Ripken, but we were in where was it? It was Missouri
Oh,
Dreams
okay.
Park.
Yep.
It was like the replica fields.
Yep. Yep.
Replica fields there. We ended up beating Hawaii in the U.S. version or U.S. portion of the tournament. And then we ended up playing Japan in the final. And seeing that all the other countries coming together and watching that was very eye-opening for me. I think playing on that kind of stage was, I think, some of the most fun I've ever had in my life. And then freshman year of high school, that was when I ended up turning just to straight baseball. The last sport I ended up doing was swimming. I was a competitive swimmer for a good portion of my life growing up. And then after that tournament, decided to go to baseball. And even still, pitching wasn't on my mind. I wanted to be a shortstop my whole life.
Really?
And then, yeah, I've always wanted to be a shortstop. I love watching Francisco Lindor. I love watching Javi Baez, those type of guys. I like the action guys. And then senior year of high school, I was coming in relief throwing. I just ended up throwing a bit harder. I put on a good amount of weight junior year, started just developing physically. And then some velocity games came there, but still mindset was to be a shortstop. I was being recruited to a handful of JUCOs in Florida, ended up committing to Northwest Florida State, and I was two-way there for about a month in the season, but being a shortstop and pitcher at that level really doesn't go together. It was just a lot of throwing, a lot of toll on the body. Kind of had a deep conversation with the coaching staff, kind of seeing what they thought I could go farther as. And pitching, I think, I was leaning that way more myself. And then they kind of confirmed that, and then that's when I decided to just be a PO.
All right, so I've got so many follow-ups to what you just told us, right? Like, I need to know if you had stuck with swimming, how good of a swimmer were you? Like, would you have been competing to make it to the Olympics? Was that difficult for you to give up?
Oh, I don't think it was that difficult.
Okay,
I think it was more just to stay in shape. I was always competitive for the leagues I was in school and
but
stuff.
it was just for fun. All right.
Goal.
All right. The JUCO route is fascinating to me, right? Like, when you did that, did you know, hey, I'm doing this so I can improve my options? Like, did you have any doubt at that point that you were going to be able to get to D1? and you were just doing it to stay like that part of it is always fascinating because some guys do it like knowing they could go to lots of places, but they just want a step to improve there, or some guys go there not knowing if they're going to get another chance. Where were you at that point as far as what you believed and why you decided to go the JUCO route?
Yeah, I thought that JUCO was definitely just a route for me to go to develop more as a player, more physically. And I had a couple like smaller D1 offers out of high school, but I thought that JUCO route, even being in the conference I was in, the D1 and JCAA division in Florida, one of the best in the country, I thought there was no better place for me to go at that point in my life, and definitely paid off. And I think as the season went on, as I continued to fall more into the pitcher role, get more comfortable, then I think I just kind of saw myself in the possibility of going to somewhere better. And then Oklahoma called. They're actually one of the first teams to offer me after the season ended. And that's kind of just how it all fell out. Came about.
Was it difficult for you to give up the shortstop dream? Like, was that you say you got to make a decision, but was there a party that was like, yeah, well, but I want to be a shortstop, so I just rather do that? Like, was that a tough call for you at that point?
Yeah, that was definitely tough. I think it was more of having to put down the bat that I was more kind
Yeah.
of sad about. But it's all good. I think it's all worked out.
Hang on a second, though. Now, this is the real question. If we get into one of those crazy scenarios in the future where you get to like the
Yeah.
11th inning and you've used all of the bats off your bench and then someone gets hurt, do you feel like you could still pick up a bat like in an emergency spot? Would you volunteer to be the pitcher that had to hit in a
Oh
situation
yeah,
like
I
that?
would for sure.
Yeah.
100%.
I dig that. Do you still try to squeeze in like cuts somewhere? Like the guys ever walk by like Kyson, what are you doing? Like we don't need you to do
No,
that.
at this point, no. I think
Okay.
the only type of swinging I do in life now is on the golf course.
Fair enough. Fair
That's
enough.
that's all I picked up.
I can respect that. When was it like real for you that when did you have the epiphany, I'm going to be able to do this? Obviously you're not there yet, but I'm sure you have that feeling of I'm going to be a big leaguer. When did you have that first feeling of this is real, I can do this for work. This can be my profession?
Yeah, I think going into my junior year or my last year at Oklahoma, I think just the strides I made over the summer playing in the Cape Cod League, playing with Team USA, and then going back on campus, I think that was really the point where I was thinking it was going to be my last year if everything like continued to trend as it did. I think just kind of as that season went along and I kept throwing well, that was really the point where I'm like, okay, this is good. I'm doing something.
I mean, look, it's working out all right for you. It's working out quite all right for you. Kyson, I know that he was a little bit above you, but did you get to know like Anthony at all in the Red Sox system? Had you had conversations and what's it like now, the two of you being together in a new place and obviously not together because you're not at the same level, but like what's that dynamic like?
Yeah, me and Ant, we roomed together at during spring training. It was me, him, and Marcus Phillips. So all of us were together. We're all super close. I talked to him a handful of times. I need to call him here in a bit, but just we've been talking every now and then, and just trying to get up there, see him as fast as I can, pretty much. So we're just working day by day, trying to get up there, see him. But yeah, that's my guy for sure.
Is there a thought that like this could be a pretty special thing, the two of you together, like now kind of being like the two pitchers that like a new system is looking towards? Like, have you thought about how special that possibility might be for the two of you?
Yeah, I think just chance, just the fact that both of us got the call to come up here. I think that's just it's all God working. I think that's just a sign that we can be great things. That we were looked at in such a good light that we both could come and be a key piece for an organization.
Who's like who? How competitive are you and your brother? Like, not just when you brought up golf. Like, I'm not even talking about baseball.
Yeah.
Like, how competitive are you just on like a day-to-day basis?
Very,
Okay.
very, very competitive.
What are you guys competing in besides like? Do you guys play like games on your phone against each other just to be competitive? Like, how do you guys when you're together? What might it look like?
Yeah, it's whether like whenever we meet, it's mostly in off season now since we're on different teams. But hey, if it's on the golf course, it's always chippy. We're trying to like drive each other, trying to see whoever puts it closest to the pin. Since we're apart, most of our like time together, like the way we bond is mostly on video games, so on our Xbox. So just in that kind of sense, we don't want to lose. We'll play on the same team. We'll give each other some. We'll jab at each other for not doing like very good at a game, just try to get under their skin. But all stuff like that, just trying to keep it fun, trying to keep it very very competitive.
That's
Just how we
awesome.
show love.
That's awesome, man. Was that difficult at all for you two, like splitting up? Like obviously you've been together for most of your lives. Like was it difficult for you guys to split up in the last few years?
I wouldn't say it's very difficult. I'd just say it's more of just a change of scenery.
I get it.
So I think both of us, we've been pretty independent pretty much our whole lives. So I think just we've learned pretty quickly how to deal with it. We still talk every week. So I
Very
think we're
cool.
handling it pretty well.
I happen to see that today is somebody's birthday. I guess both of your birthdays. We should say that.
Yeah.
So happy birthday, Kyson.
Thank you.
Tell me, in the perfect world, like anything that you could get within reason, like under say $10,000. If you could have one birthday gift, what would it be?
Cologne.
Cologne. You're a
I'm
cologne. Do you have a go-to?
I have a handful of go-tos.
All right.
That's my big thing.
Is it like different for what you're doing? Like you wear a certain cologne when you go to play golf, maybe a cologne when you're going out to
Yeah.
dinner. Like do you have a whole
hmm
repertoire?
I do.
How many bottles when this is the perfect question. How many bottles of cologne did you travel with you when you made the trip down?
Oh yeah, I have a big old box. I think I've got maybe like 30 with me right now.
There's more. The crazy part is there's like more cologne than clothes.
Yeah.
That's wild, man. So that's if you're looking to get something, a welcome, a birthday gift for Kyson Witherspoon, newest part of the Orioles organization. If there's a bottle that's like your white whale, is there a bottle of
hmm
cologne? Because this is not my world, right? I'm a 42-year-old man who's been married for 100 years, so I've basically given up. Is there a white whale like I think about this with bourbon. Like there are bottles of bourbon that like you're chasing. Is there like a bottle of cologne that you don't have and you would like to have?
That I don't have and I would like to
Yeah.
have. Okay, that's a good question. That is a good question. I think Clive Christian Blonde Amber is one I want to get right now.
Okay. Listen to me. You want to be best friends with Kyson Witherspoon? You find him out in Frederick. You get this
Yeah.
man that bottle. And you got. By the way, we actually had a listener check in and wanted to say thank you because he came to see you pitch in Jersey, and you
Mhm.
found he and his son in the midst of a group of weirdo autograph hounds, and you came over and greeted them and signed an autograph for his son. So that's from Jack, and he wanted you to say thank you to you for that. So that's a shout
No
out to you,
problem, Jack.
Kyson Witherspoon. That's awesome, man. Kyson, we are so excited to have you here. You're not really using the Twitter account much anymore, correct?
No,
But but
I try to stay out there.
good for you. It's a cesspool. I'd like to get rid of it any day. It would be wonderful for me if
Mhm.
that was an option. But you are on Instagram, correct? At kybone.904.
For sure.
Give him a follow there. Kyson Witherspoon, we can't wait to see what's next for you as you travel through the Orioles organization, man. Congratulations on being in Frederick, and hopefully it won't be too long before we're talking about Baltimore Oriole Kyson Witherspoon. Appreciate you taking the time for us. Thanks for doing this.
Thank you.
Kyson Witherspoon with us here on GCR. Appreciate